What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today I want to do a little off-the-cuff rant about why I think Sony is putting absolute trash on the PlayStation Store. In case you haven't noticed, over the last few months there have been more and more projects slipping into the online market that seem a bit odd. If you weren't paying attention to them, it'd be easy to scroll right past it, thinking they're just your typical indie games, but these are far, far worse. What we're talking about here is stuff that is so bad it's nearly unplayable. For example, let's take a look at Joe's Diner. On the surface, this might appear to be your normal low-budget horror game. It has decent graphics and a silly plot about a guy working the night shift at a haunted restaurant. The problem with this project is that it's obviously not finished. Controls are glitchy, sound effects almost never work, and even when the evil ghost does get you, the game just freezes and shows you a picture of a Native American. Yes, that's right, they couldn't even animate a monster like in Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm pretty forgiving of cheesy indie games as long as they're cheap, but this piece of garbage cost $20. You could seriously buy 2 or 3 decent RPGs on sale for that price. Now some of you might say, okay, this is bad, but sometimes dumb junk just gets released by accident. My response to that is to show you a game that's an even bigger train wreck. Life of Black Tiger has us playing as a wild beast, hunting down humans to make sure they don't slay him or his people first. The opening cutscene is just a few slideshow images with really bad English at the bottom that literally makes no sense. After watching something that painful, you'd probably hope that the gameplay itself makes up for it. Sadly, what we get is essentially a broken cell phone game that hardly works in any way. To make matters even worse, with just a bit of research, I found out that some of the art for this piece of trash was in fact stolen off Google. Sony, it's time for us to have a difficult conversation. You're getting greedy, and we can tell. Each time a developer puts a title on the PSN Store, they have to pay a fee. This is usually several $1,000s, a price which only covers you posting it originally, and you have to pay an additional fee for patches and updates. That all seems reasonable because I'm sure Sony servers take a lot of manpower and effort to maintain. My problem is that no one seems to be looking at what people are slamming up there anymore, and this money they're spending appears to just be vanishing into your pockets. Don't get me wrong, I think it's alright if some lame stuff sneaks on there every once in a while. The footage you're seeing here is from Hardware Rivals, a tiny project that's trying to be a mix of Rocket League and Twisted Metal. It's honestly not great, but at least it's a finished product. Sony, you're at a very important stage in the console lifecycle. Over 50 million people have purchased a PlayStation 4 at this point, which means for every item you allow on the network store, millions of players are going to check it out. This is how your company will be judged. Why would you allow something like Life of Black Tiger to sit next to something as amazing as infamous Second Son or Gravity Rush? These are projects that challenge gamers to open their minds to new forms of gaming and helped your console explode in the first place. As far as I can tell, right now you really only have one main option. I think we can all agree that you need to set up a team of employees who test each item before it goes on the store. This would only take an hour or so per game, which means less stuff overall would be on there, but it would also completely stop the trash. Let's not forget the lessons we learned back in the 1980s when video games were crashing hard here in America. Everyone was so bored of the random stuff Atari was pumping out, and there was no form of any quality control, so gaming started to be considered just a dumb, dead hobby. That's when Nintendo showed up to save the day. They started releasing great games in their new system, but more importantly, they made sure that if other companies put out projects on their console, they'd be awesome as well. Each game was tested one by one at Nintendo headquarters to make sure it worked. That's what this little seal of approval means that was on the front of every package. While some stupid junk still got launched, it wasn't nearly the amount that's currently flooding the PS4. Do the right thing, Sony. Stop this madness. Set up an indie checking team as soon as possible, or else you might become the dumpster fire that is Steam Early Access. Well guys, this has just been my random rant about what I think is going on with the PlayStation Marketplace. What do you think of it? What is one game that you think is absolute garbage on the PlayStation right now? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another video. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming! Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.